Kia ora, good morning. So, my Twitter's down at the moment. So if I'm sort of relatively quiet on Twitter, it's actually been down for since about 2 o'clock yesterday morning. Doesn't bother me though, because I don't care about Twitter. Only thing is I don't get to look at cool movie posters and put them up. But I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that are absolutely ripping shit out of Elon Musk for ruining Twitter, saying that everything he touches breaks. There are people that are just, they've gone hours and hours and hours and they're getting pissed off because they don't have access to their feed, or they can't post, they can't, because it keeps coming up with error messages. But Twitter is saying everything's fine, but people are saying no, it's not, because I haven't been able to access my X in, 15 hours, 20 hours, blah, blah, blah. So I just taken it as a sign that God's saying just focus on what you're doing. There were reports that Donald Trump was rushed to hospital. God willing, please, because remember I said that God might be about to part the waves. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's not what any of this is about. I'm just letting you know. That's why I'm quiet on Twitter, because I don't have access. There's it's a mess. I wondered whether Iran hadn't done something, because you know how they went after Amazon. Anyway, this movie, right? So at this point in time, there's no indications other than other than if God literally is removing Trump, taking him to the underworld. There's no indications yet that, I'm not getting any clear definite signs that I am being asked to go to America. I'm just waiting and seeing, obviously. So in the meantime, I'm just forward focused, and the plan is get to Switzerland, right? So even though extenuating circumstances might lead me to America, that's up to the Lord to decide. But in the meantime, I'm just focusing on getting to Switzerland. Switzerland is plan A. And then if the Lord needs a diversion, he knows what he has to do to get me to America. So I'm just going to, from this point on, talk like America was never an option again, right? So in doing that, I have to think, even though I think that New England would be perfect to film Miss Amber's School of Alchemy, I have to think, based on the storyline that I've written, what country would be best, because we're talking about a school of witches, well, not witches. The thing is, in the movie, the teachers are going to explain the difference between, witches and sorcerers and high priests, the whole hierarchical system for the magi classes, as you would call them, will be explained in the movie. But obviously we're going to talk about, because remember in my dream, my ghost zombie dream, St. Joan of Arc came to me, she's the one who's in the thumbnail, and asked me to educate people in order to release the spirits of the souls of the dead who have been trapped here because of history and religion talking about witches in an incorrect manner. There's, how do I explain it? So much energy is attached to a person's name. That's why low vibrational people, was it, who was it that said, I can't think because I haven't been awake that long, I'm still having my coffee. Small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, brilliant minds discuss ideas. And a person's name and reputation, there's a lot of weight behind it. And you can tell the strength of a person's character by how people know them before they meet them. The same thing is true of the dead. And if people who have been executed in that, treated unfairly, especially in history, because history carries your name with it, if they've been remembered wrong, it can create a disturbance in the energetic atmosphere that causes spirits to be unrestful. And that's when you will get ghost sightings, because they don't get to cross over properly. They're stuck between this life and the afterlife. They're stuck between worlds because they died with the heavy burden of knowing that their reputation was being destroyed to the point where they're either too afraid to face God in case they also get judged in the afterlife, or it was so sudden and unexpected and painful for them. The heavy energy, the heavy atmosphere surrounding the circumstances of their executions and their persecutions creates like a glitch in the matrix, and they can't energetically cross over. They're stuck. They are very few and far between, but one of the best examples that I always use is Gettysburg. There's a lot of incidents that happen at Gettysburg in Pennsylvania that prove my theory correct. And these imbalances need to be corrected. So the Amber Wilkinson School of Alchemy is going to educate everyone. It'll be a class for everybody watching the movie. It's going to be the first live action we make. We'll make the animated movie as well. The Amber Rose will make that. But we'll make the live action pretty much as soon as I can get my production company up and running in Switzerland. So I have to look, based on what I've written, based on that dream I had with St. Joan of Arc, where can I make it that has a history of executing witches, condemning people to die for witchcraft and heresy and all that. Bloody church. This is why I don't trust religion, why I don't trust churches. They cause so much damage. Also has a history of, like a war history, a battle history, and also has a history of, necropolises. Necropoli? Necropolis. Cities of the undead. Because of the story that I've written, I'm not going into it, but it's going to, cinematically, it's going to be bloody awesome. And that's France. So, at this point, I'm just forward focused on getting to Switzerland. I'm going to need some incredible, I'm going to need a composer who feels that movie with every fibre of its being. Because the music matters. And this is going to be very dramatic. There's going to be a lot of dramatic scenes in it. It's intense. It's got the intensity of like Lord of the Rings, but with the light, the lighter-hearted side of Harry Potter. It's kind of a blend between Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, but set in modern day. And I just think that would be France. And the thing is, as much and all as Emmanuel Macron has been less of a dick about the whole Iran-Russia thing than all the other countries, I I really like the idea of writing movies. God, bloody phone's going left, right, and centre. I like the idea of writing movies that are filmed in a different country. Because you remember my Mary Seacole movie I want to film in the Crimea, and it kind of looks like and because like War Babies is going to start off in New Zealand, and it looks like I'm wondering if this is kind of the prophecy. Remember, the prophecy said about drawing the four corners of the globe together. I'm wondering if it's got something to do with the fact that I appear to be writing movies set in different parts of the world that will be employing actors and talent and people from their countries to be a part of it. Oh my God, my phone is. So, France would be perfect. I've even like like with World War I, World War II history, with the French Revolution. Like I can play around with this story for these battles and that, like in the most incredible way, where it's bringing real history to life. In this movie, oh my God, my phone's going nuts. In this movie, it's important that the history is real, but that history is recorrected. There needs to be a recorrection because um, this movie will be crossing over real trapped spirits. That's the only way I'm going to put it. I'm not gonna go into it, but as a scientist, when this movie is made, especially if we're filming on location where real events took place, it's going to release any trapped souls because of the biorhythms being put into the writing of the movie. It's going to release the trapped souls of anyone who was persecuted, executed, you know, even just, with that underground city in Paris, the underground necropolis in Paris with all the skulls and bones in that, even bringing that into the movie, because the desecration of the dead is like it's a great insult, and when not just of their body but of their name. So if anybody was moved down there who isn't okay with the reason why they were moved down there, oh my God, my phone is they're going to be released. Their souls are going to be released, and I'm going to put it in the movie. Just like the rapture. In the rapture, with the souls rising up, I'm putting that in the movie. But it's going to be the souls of, like, the Salem witches and the witches of France, and, because I'm going to be recorrecting the imbalance of history in their name, which is exactly what St. Joan of Arc asked me to do in that dream. Now, I have put forward the hypothesis as well that sometimes when she was praying, because I've got video of her coming to me when she first started appearing in my dreams and in the quantum magnetics codes, when she started appearing in the codes. I've got a video of me talking to her and me putting the hypothesis of, when they said that she would pray a lot and that she would say that she was talking to the angels and all of that because of how quantum magnetics works, because of how I know it works. I put the hypothesis forward of she was probably one of those conversations was her talking to me in my bedroom that day. I've even got a video of me. I was picking up on someone talking, thinking about me, and I said to my ex-student Michelle, I'm going to do a test and see if I can call him forward. And I've got the video up of, and I could see him sitting in his office wearing a blue shirt, sitting on his computer. I knew who it was. I'm pretty sure I knew who it was. But I think that's only just happened. But anyway, because of how time works, because when you can tap into the consciousness of the atom, because atoms record everything, every single thing, which is why you have to be so careful what you put out into the universe, because atoms hold on to it through sound and then play it back to you through memory. And time is the greatest brain there is. Time plus history equals memory. And that is the core function of an atom. Because when you remember who you are, you know what you're becoming, you have complete control of where you're going. And I've put forward the hypothesis. One of those conversations she was having where she said she was talking to the angels and that could have been the conversation she was having with me in my dream. Could have been the conversation she was having when all those lights appeared in my bedroom at the dungeon. She was one of the ones that pulled me out of the darkness and into the light, because it was starting to prove my time theory correct. So all of this is going to get put in the movie and people are going to learn. I might even put a disclaimer up before the movie starts. All events in this movie depicted in this movie are based on real events. All the magic in it is real. Everything all the information you're going to be taught is real. Only the story is fiction. Which is going to, I think, draw the curious in like you wouldn't believe. Especially people that are interested in the occult. Because I said to my sister yesterday, it's time people learned the truth, because there's so much stuff out there on social media that is factually incorrect. That it is half of the reason why, like the butterfly effect, it's half the reason why the world is in the state that it's in. Just because you believe it to be true doesn't make it fact. And so much damage has been caused since they started executing and persecuting herbalists and naturopaths and seers and sages and, calling them witches. And it was all because these people were so smart. These cunning men and women were so smart that when they wanted religion to come and dominate people's spiritual paths, they didn't want seers and sages telling people how to live their best life, and herbalists and naturopaths and that using earth to cure them. They wanted people to rely on bloodletting and religion and God, and so they put the fear of God into people by coming up with demonology and all of that in order to persecute innocent people whose only crimes were they knew how to use the planet and energy to heal the mind, bodies and souls of the people in their towns and villages. In Scotland, when people got wind of quote unquote witches moving into the area, they would set up towns and villages around them because they were so revered and so respected. And then history wrote it in a way, after religion became the force du jour, wrote it in a way that completely destroyed the names and reputations of these people and their ancestors and their family members that taught them how to have this incredible knowledge. And it's one of the reasons why the World Economic Forum are hell-bent on shutting down natural therapies and natural healing. They want to shove pharmaceutical poisons down your throat and tell you that surviving off the earth is wrong. So they're going to kill the planet off and, feed you toxins and that, because it's just like the witch hunters of old, and yet they're the biggest cult on the planet. That's why they sacrifice children. I will talk about the hierarchical systems of devils, like Baphomet, Baal, and Molech. I'm going to put all of that in, and how they're basically servants of Satan. They're there to test the faith and tempt the fate of the mentally unstable. If you worship a devil, you're mentally unstable. When you worship devils like Baal and Baphomet and Molech and all the rest of them, because there's devils and demons. Demons work on behalf of the devils, and devils are, see, because you got deities and then you've got gods. Satan is a god, and a deity is like an effigy of what it is you're wanting, the power that is to be represented. So, like for example, Mars is a god, Hermes is a deity. Or Mercury. Well, no, Mercury's a god, but Hermes is a deity. The effigy is an effigy, a representation of, like a reflection of a god, but doesn't have god powers. But Satan is a god. So demons are the minions of devils, and devils work for Satan in regards to if you give yourself to a devil, Satan's going to collect your soul. And he puts this stuff out here to see how people are going to deal with it once it's presented to them. Okay, so you know that Donald Trump worships Baal, you know that Elon Musk worships Baphomet. What are you going to do about it? Nothing? Okay, so then the world's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse because you're not doing anything about it. That sort of thing. And then these devils will send their minions out to tempt you. Come give me your money. Come give me your time. Let me control your mind through what it is I'm putting out there. Are you easily tempted? Can you be easily tempted? Are you going to sign a contract with me so that I can control the way that you think and feel and move and, drain your resources and drain your energy? Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? That's the demons. And then once you sign up, you're under contract with the devil. And once you're under contract with the devil, you always have to pay your debt. The time will come when you'll be held accountable for giving yourself to the devil. Like what's happening with my exes and their cult. They signed their soul over to the devil to take down an agent, to take down a child of God, and now they're paying the price. They're going to pay the price for it, because Satan always collects. You can't escape having your soul collected when you've signed your soul over to the devil, and he makes the contracts very tempting to sign because of the devils that he sends out, whether it's karmic or because it's good advertising, or they offer an app or offer, like Grok and all that sort of thing. And then all the people that work for them to set it all up and make it sound exciting and tempting, and the way it's presented on social media to lure people in, they're demons or the devil's minions. So this is what the movie's going to be teaching. And a lot of that stuff went on in France. I'll be able to use Dunkirk and Normandy and all of that, and I'll be able to do a lot of great healing there just by making this movie. And my boys' grandfathers were in Normandy. Both of them survived, thank God. Both of them were incredible men, just wonderful men. And I'll be able to do a lot just by making this movie, but I'll be able to put it all into the movie as well. People will be able to see for themselves spirits, real living dead people crossing over watching the movie. I'm not even joking. When you're seeing the movie being made and you see these certain scenes happening in the movie using graphics or CGI or special effects or whatever, you're energetically, you're going to be watching the souls of real dead people being released and crossing over. When soldiers die with a heavy heart, knowing that they've had to go to war to kill people for no fault of their own, you would be surprised at how many soldiers, people in the military, don't want to cross over because they're ashamed, because they're tortured by the fact that they had to. They just cut me off. This is how I know I'm being watched. They give themselves away, these demons, or they're devils, because you'll be dealing with people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Keir Starmer. They're the devils. So, I mean, it could be Martin as well. I had a thing pop up in an email address that has nothing to do with my Instagram the other day, saying, "Oh, we're sorry that you're having trouble retrieving your email for Instagram, but it's that email address isn't associated with any of my Instagrams, and the account name Barefoot Kiwi, Barefoot _ K1W1 also has nothing to do with any of my Instagrams. So I know that Martin and that are just like they did with my Facebook and my old Instagram, setting up fake accounts in my name. But I don't care because I know that they're being watched and monitored now. So it's just a matter of just recording it, documenting it, and waiting for them to get caught. And I had a dream they got caught by the FBI anyway, so I don't care. They're all going down, so I don't care. I'm not scared of Martin. Like, there's nothing they can say or do to stop me from doing what I'm doing. They just hate the fact that I'm doing it because they can't steal anything from me, because they don't have the power. So breaking free from the entanglement and of all that, yuck. They're being watched by people they don't know they're being watched by. So that's fine by me. Anyway, so yeah, so, these wars is because people can't get their shit together in a boardroom, which is why I think France would be a brilliant idea, because Macron, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, is actually coming to his senses. He's acting accordingly. He's been a bit fairer with Vladdy, and the way that he's dealt with everything so beautifully with Iran, refusing to get involved, talking to them mano a mano, using diplomacy and all of that. They've granted him safe passage. So it's like, well, if he's acting like that and trying to do right by everyone involved, then he's somebody who deserves to have, what taxes I'd have to pay to make that movie in France. So, it's like you got to play devil's advocate. He's the lesser of the evils at this point, compared to like Trump and Starmer, and that he's absolutely the lesser of two evils, as well as the fact that he's going after Elon Musk for the whole Grok pedophile thing. So it's like, okay, the next best place to film it would be, and then I could put Notre Dame in there, do like a whole, like, oh my God. So, yeah, so when you're watching it, even though these actors or these characters, these spirits, these witches, these whatever that I'm going to put into the movie, they're going to be based on real people, but they'll be CGI, based on real events, but it'll be whatever. As soon as we hit play on that movie in the theatres, or when you hit play on for the first time, it won't happen after that, but the very first time we hit record and play the whole movie, whether it's on TV, on my streaming service, or in the theatre at Fire in Switzerland, we're crossing spirits over, real ones, real ones. So then when people go to places like Normandy, it's not going to feel so weird. It's not going to feel so heavy. Not to mention the fact that when I go there, I'll be able to use my Tane clay. I'll walk along the beaches in Normandy and use my Tane clay to push into the ground. And my sprays and all of that, like in Dunkirk, and yeah, so, and the necropolis, what's the plurals for a necropolis? Because of how I've written the story, and it's going to be epic, and these kids are going to be heroes, 4 boys, 4 girls. And I'm thinking if I use Roisin from Becoming Spellbound, she would be the 8th element. They'll find out when they go to school what element they roll, and she'll be the 8th element. Sorry, the 9th element. No, she's representing the 8th element bloodline. She'll find out she's the 9th element, because the main character is going to be Roisin, like Harry Potter, but it'll be Roisin Marie. She's going to be the main character, and she's there representing the 8th elemental bloodline, which is birth, but she'll find out that she's the 9th element, which is resurrection. See? Aha, ooh. I didn't realise what I was writing. I didn't realise the power of what it was I've been writing this whole time. And all of these characters from all these other things I've been writing, they're all interacting. I knew it was the honeycomb system until this dream I had this morning, which I'm not going to go into, where when I looked back, it looked like frog spawn. From the dream I had from yesterday and from Amber's crystal ball, when I stood back and realised that this honeycomb system I had been building for all these years looked like frog spawn, life inside life inside life inside life, all stuck together sort of thing. The nectar of creation stuck together like honeycombs actually looked like frog spawn. But then in this dream, when I zoomed further back, when the eye of the universe opened up and let me look into it, I was actually inside an atom. It's actually an atom. I didn't realise what it was I was creating. I was creating. How do I explain it? The eye of the universe. So my Medusa movie, she's already in the Amber Rose. My Frankenstein movie was already in the Art of Creation. You see what I mean? And the main character for Miss Amber's School of Alchemy is already in Becoming Spellbound. And when I make this movie, it's literally going to open up a time portal that releases all the trapped souls of the persecuted, executed, sent to their deaths because of ignorance and mental illness, basically, derangement, of these religious cults and governmental cults, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, whatever you want to call them. And the second we hit play for the first time in that movie theatre, or when people watch it on my streaming service once, because obviously it's one of the reasons why I'm going to have to get my IT company set up really fast, because we'll put all the TV shows up there, we'll put the little mini games up there, and the first movie we're going to play is Miss Amber's School of Alchemy. The second people hit play for the first time, it's going to split atoms open, basically, because of the biorhythms, because of how I've set it all up as a biorhythmic engineer. And they will literally, when they're watching it for the first time, watch trapped souls, trapped spirits be released from history because of how their names were remembered wrong. Because your name is your calling card. It's your CV. And if you've gone down in history, whether it be local or worldwide, as being someone who was a witch, or, a heretic, meaning going against God, which is not true at all. If God had a problem with witches, he wouldn't have put the Witch of Endor in the Bible, which is that's Pearl's bloodline, Pearl from the Art of Creation. So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't until I had that urethra moment yesterday with figuring out the Amber School of Alchemy movie that I looked back, stood back and thought, holy crap, I was creating this movie this whole time. And this movie that I'm creating is going to have a monumental impact on the world. People are going to witness the rapture for a lot of innocent souls who have been forced to stay trapped energetically because of how history decided to write them into the books. So it's like, hurry up and get me to Switzerland. Because this movie's going to be huge. This movie's going to be absolutely huge. And anyone that engages in it, whether helping me make it or investing in making it, yeah, it's like, wow. So if it's not America, then I choose France. France is perfect. Because if it was in America, yes, I've got Salem, but then we could also use 9/11, the souls of 9/11, go to Ground Zero, and also Gettysburg. There's a lot of places where there were, like Ellis Island, where they had, the Native Americans that were slaughtered there. Like, I could use American history, absolutely, but I'm not getting, like, if it's not, I have to do this like nothing's changed, and I'm still going to Switzerland, which would make my heart so happy. Because I love, it makes my heart happy. Switzerland, the thought of going there makes my heart happy. There's so much I can do there. But like I said, if it turns out that God opens a door for me to go to America because it's where he needs me to be, then I'm not going to complain, as long as he removes the threat, which is Trump and Musk and Martin, and as long as they're all dealt with. Otherwise, just get me to Switzerland and I'll make this movie. And like I keep saying, Harry Potter but real. But instead of Harry Potter, it's going to be Roisin. And that might even be when Sam, at the end of becoming spellbound, what she hands Roisin could be the key to get into the school. That could be. I just don't know how I'd write it in that she was. Maybe she goes to school in France. Maybe she. I don't know. But yeah, it's still early days yet. It's still early days. But a lot of these actors may have a reoccurring role in this Harry Potter movie. Whoever I get to play Sam and her dad and, all of that, they would have roles to play in Miss Amber School at Alchemy. I just haven't decided yet if that's the road I'm going to go down. But Roisin will be the Harry Potter, our Harry Potter, which is Amber. Roisin Marie is Amber Rose, but she'll be an actor. Should be Irish, possibly. I don't know. Everything, just like an atom, everything moulds and shapes itself as it evolves. So you just have to give me time. The name of the movie might even change. I just know that by the time I get to Switzerland, I'm going to sit down with my writing people and my director and all that and say, this is it. Help me. But even though it might not necessarily be Roisin, although I want it to be, it will be her bloodlines at least, because it's to do with the bloodlines. Because bloodlines matter. And when your ancestors have done things that need to be corrected, they choose people to be the ones to represent them on behalf of history, on behalf of God, on behalf of history, in front of God, to say, this is the person we've chosen to represent us to pay off our karmic debts, to recorrect anything we got wrong, to recorrect anything that was done wrong against us, like me helping Iran, for example, anything that my Iranian ancestors did. I'm helping make up for that by helping Iran save the world, basically. So, nobody's perfect. None of our histories are perfect. None of our ancestors are 100% perfect throughout our entire bloodlines, but they choose people to be the ones to represent them in the future to pay off the karmic debt, which is why my life has been hell. Because I was chosen to pay off a lot of ancestral karmic debt because all my ancestors were royal bloodlines. And I know my Māori ancestors had slaves, so I know we would have done bad things to innocent people in the Crusades, and I had ancestors on both sides. So, that's why some of us have hard lives. But when you understand that going through an ascension, it gives you the power to know that you're in complete control of what happens next. And when they keep trying to cut my phone off and all of that, they're the tempters. How are you going to react? Are you going to give them the reaction they want by getting upset and crying and throwing things and losing your temper and blah, blah, blah? Or are you going to recognise it for what it is, i.e. a test? You're being tempted by the hand of fate, and just keep moving. Because a higher evolved being doesn't get affected by that kind of pettiness, because they know that God's got their back and they will get justice from it. And I know my justice comes in the form of hundreds of millions of dollars. Like I've never doubted that. My teacher said by the time I finished my trial with the people that were sent to test me, I would end up a very wealthy woman. I've always known this would end with hundreds of millions in my bank, and then I can use that to make my dating app spellbound, which will then be worth billions if I do decide to sell it to Tinder, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. And then I'll be able to make the movie and that and fund it all myself. I just need really creative people who can pull off the kind of special effects and that they did in like Star Wars and Ghostbusters and that on a budget, but where it's incredible. Like, that just blows people's minds, because I don't want to... The deal that my boys and I made is no oversaturation of CGI, use special effects in that where possible, cosmetics and scenery and people building things and making things rather than relying on digital, but that if we had no choice but to go digital, we would keep it to CGI, blue screen, green screen, that sort of thing, and no AI. So, yeah. So I just need really creative people. I need really imaginative, creative people who, if they weren't on the set of movies like The Howling, they maybe were taught by the people who were on the set of The Howling, for making my werewolf movie and all that. So I didn't realise what I was creating until now. But yeah, whoever watches this movie, when they watch it for the first time, they're going to be helping me cross over a lot of trapped spirits in real life. For real, for real. And they'll be making history. They'll be helping me make history. There's no movie in the world that can say they can do that, because they don't know how to do it. Because for them it's all about Oscars and making money and the pay packets of the actors in the movie. Well, my movie's going to be made by ordinary, everyday men, women and children who are working in supermarkets and hospitals and schools and driving buses, and they're out in the world right now, who have no idea that if they come to my casting calls or they get the job with me, they're going to be helping me make history, and we're all going to be coming together to cross over the trapped souls of innocent, executed and persecuted men, women, children and animals, because of the witch trials and the wars and the revolutions. How cool is that? So while we're making it, I need my IT staff to be building the streaming service, because you'll have to sign up to my streaming service. Be like Netflix, but with a whole lot on offer. And we will just add to it as we go. So by the time I've got the talent and looking for the stuff and that, the IT company will be up. My dating app will be getting made. And then the TV shows and all that will be getting made. And then by the time we've made this Miss Amber's School of Alchemy and it goes up on the streaming service, we'll have a lot on there already. And then by that point the school, the foundation will be built. So that when we premiere it at our little movie theatre at Fire, if my publicists and marketing people are worth their pay packet, people will be falling over themselves to get tickets to come and see this movie and to sign up to a streaming service. Because I want to try and time it that when this movie goes live on my streaming service, we also open the door to the theatre at the same time. So everyone's watching it together. So I need really good marketing people. And when I do my publicity junket to look for my talent and all that, I'll be able to talk about what it is we're creating. So with any luck, if we've done this right with the publicity, people will be falling over themselves to get those movie tickets and to sign up to our streaming service. And then they'll be able to watch it grow as we add things. You see? So, yeah. It's going to be worth a lot of money. My little empire is going to be worth a shit ton of money, which is why I'm worth investing in. So, QE2 games. As soon as I get to Switzerland, QE2 games, North Star IT, Fairyland Productions, they're the first things that need to be sorted out. The plan's coming together, to quote the A-Team. Oh my God, I didn't realise what I was creating. I was like, wow, I'm going to make history in a huge way. It's so exciting. So I'm going to go and get breakfast now. I've just finished my coffee. And I shall speak to you later, all in memory of my little girl, Amber Marie Wilkinson. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.